Have you written anything?
I haven't, because I don't really know how, but I have ideas running in my head. I've written scenes. Here's my thing. I've written scenes.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to string them all together.
Right.
And I've never done a screenwriting class or anything, so I don't really know
I'll tell you my
the
method.
technicalities. You sit down and write.
No, writing is the last thing I do.
What do you do then?
I get a blank wall like this, and then I get Post-it notes. And then
That's quite fun.
I categorize it. So first I do beginning, middle, and end. And then I complicate that more.
See, that's my problem.
Intro, act 1, act 2, act 3, conclusion. And then I go from left to right is my time scale. So as the movie gets closer to the end, my Post-it note is more to the right. Then if it's going top down, then it's complexity. So if I'm in act 1 and I want to complexify the act 1, I go down and I keep adding more categories, including characters and everything, right? And then I just move it Post-it note by Post-it note. I have my whole story, my whole character arc, where those buttons hit, already done. Then I stress out about how my character's voice sounds, you know, because I always write Alexander's voice as character blank. It's hard for me to alienate my vocabulary out from my character, because that's always where I get stuck in the weeds. So if I do that first, then I'm just in the weeds.
See, I'm the opposite. It's so funny because when I tried to write stuff, I have the voices, I have the characters, I have the individual scenes I want to happen. I can't get a storyline. Like I don't have an overarching storyline. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
I think I need a writing partner, because I think
I was just going to say, maybe we should work together on something.
When people have like an overarching storyline, I'm really good at getting the conversations in there and the character voices and adding depth to it. But I can't, for the life of me, think of a like an overarching storyline. So
yeah, I mean, right now I'm writing a monster movie.
A monster movie?
Yeah, totally.
What do you mean?
It's a movie about how humanity specializes. Basically, like evolution doesn't evolve slowly anymore. There's one major event where evolution and nature, in order to evolve to survive, learns how to evolve differently. And the difference in its evolution is that in a short amount of time, tremendous evolution occurs throughout nature. So animals all of a sudden start getting born very different. Humanity starts getting born very different, and everyone has a specialist category. And so the story is really about this ex-airborne ranger guy, basically on a New Jersey Transit coming in from Secaucus, right? And
this is such a you story. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
This is like Alexander written all over it.
So he pulls up his cell phone and he gets a call from his buddy, and his buddy is going down into a basement, and you find out that he actually has people chained up in this basement.
Oh, God.
And so this guy is on this train trying to find a mark, when out of nowhere, this train derails and the monster shows up. And so he becomes actually the hero on the train, helping people get out of the monster's way.
So what happens to the people chained up in the basement?
You got to read the story.
Ooh, okay, spicy.
It's a prologue to the major thing. So I'm writing that. Now I'm interested in like a sci-fi movie. I'm really interested in like a planetary explorer.
You
right now.
sent me a couple pages of a script you're writing. I think it was something like ancient worldy.
Oh yeah.
And I loved it.
I'm writing that for Forrest Whitaker.
I really love that. That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So that scene is just basically like
It was short, but it was awesome.
It was a 2-minute intro scene for a series I'm writing about the Punic Wars. Because right now there's all these new channels coming out for like ancient documentary narratives.
I love it because I love period pieces.
And no one nails the Punic Wars. The Punic Wars was like world war in the ancient age. Like the entire ancient world, Europe, Africa, Greece, Spain, everyone was fighting.
Yeah.
And it was Rome versus Carthage.
Yeah.
And Carthage was the superpower before ancient Rome. Carthaginians were like, you know, they were these coastal cities that were all focused on trade and made the best ships ever. And the greatest general of all time, Hannibal Barca, had amazing fights against ancient Rome. So the whole story is like, you know, the religious element of, you know, Baal Haman, which was their god, where they would throw their firstborns into this like metal furnace of a bullhead. Yeah, that's where like Beelzebub comes from. That's where the devil comes from. It's actually like a god named Baal Haman, or known as, Baal in Carthaginian, or Beelzebub in Judeo-Christianity.
The devil set aside for me.
Yeah, and the hell furnace, going to hell. So there's
wild.
So Carthaginians would have that, and also like strangely, the Phoenician palace that Jeffrey Epstein had on his island is all connected to this religious thing. Point being, some crazy shit. So the Carthaginians had this like wild sacrificial ritual sacrifice religion, but they were the most free.
Yeah.
Right? They actually got along with the rest of the world.
Well, isn't that why Rome was so successful? Because when they took over a place, they just let them keep their own traditions, their own religions, their own rights. They just taxed them like crazy. And that's why they were so successful, because they didn't try and go in and convert people and change people. They were like, look, you can have your own system, your own religions, your own beliefs, your own traditions.
Yeah.
Just pay us.
Well,
and they did really well.
That's true, but it's kind of like an onion or a gobstopper, right? Because what actually happened is people did get Romanized. Like the barbarians were the north of Italy.